Hey there, it's Jody. The autumn garden is thriving with so many edible plants that can withstand the cold weather. Here's what's growing at the end of November. The polytunnel is finally here to keep the tropical plants safe. Hibiscus, papaya, banana, and pepper plants. There's also squash, tomatoes, along with zinnias and calabrosia. I don't think that the squash will last much longer, but I should be able to get a little harvest from the tomatoes. At the moment, the polytunnel gets about 20 degrees warmer in the daytime. During the evenings, the weather dips down to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, but the polytunnel remains about 6 to 8 degrees warmer. To ensure there's airflow, there's two things I'll do. The front and the back of the polytunnel is opened up daily, and the moisture absorber inside helps balance the humidity. I also close the polytunnel about 2 hours before it gets dark to capture the heat before evening. In the coming weeks, I'll cut back the banana, hibiscus, and pepper plants, and I'll rarely water them to assist them in dormancy. By the next time you see the polytunnel, it will have gone through multiple stages. So let's talk about future plans before next spring. For December, I expect the weather to be about 10 degrees cooler during the day and possibly in the 30s in the evenings. The main plan is to close up the polytunnel as much as necessary. At this time, I'll insert a thermal insulation plastic, which will increase the temperature inside. To prevent the papaya plants from retiring, I'll add some fleece gardening material that will be hung on the inside of the frame of the tunnel and tucked just around the plants. I'm also experimenting with two other off-grid methods to warm up the polytunnel, a brick hotbed and pebble gravel. The lantern garden has reduced in size as the polytunnel took a little bit of its space. But there's all kinds of cold hardy plants like Brussels sprouts, broccoli, beets, and cauliflower. Not much is planned for this area until next year. As for the boardwalk area, there's tons of broccoli, spinach, and cauliflower. I also planted this beautiful flowering kale plant. Gardenvale has some happy herbs, strawberries, and I'm starting to see a couple volunteer nasturtiums pop up in some of the garden pots. But look how amazing the vertical wall looks, packed with shallow root plants. I decided to go with mostly sedum varieties, but I did pick up a couple of succulent plants. I struggled for months now, experimenting with different plants that didn't need much watering, and realized the sedum plants from last year still have shallow roots. I transplanted them here and decided they looked so great that I needed to go down and see if I could find more. I couldn't believe the cost of succulent plants, so you can imagine my surprise when I finally discovered a flat packed with tons of baby sedum plants for only $15. I have to say I have never been a fan of succulents, but I am loving the way this area looks with the pop of color. I also purchased two other succulent plants, jet beads and elephant bush, that I planted here. Along the garden path, I've moved some pots over here, but the artichoke plant made a return. I was worried about it not making it during the summer, so I was pleasantly surprised to find it growing so fervently. As for the garden patch, it needed a revamp, so I took out a lot of the pots. And I have to say, I honestly don't think it's ever looked this nice. There's now more cold hardy plants, like these beautiful lavender pansies, broccoli, spinach, lettuce, alyssum, radish, and dill. I also have an African daisy back here. There isn't much planned for this area until next spring, but I plan to move the African daisy to the polytunnel in December. Thanks again for watching the latest garden tour. The next garden tour is planned for next year, but there's also plans for other types of videos before then. Until next time.